Okay, I'd like to call the Dover Select Board meeting to order on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. The first order of business is public comments. Jim?
A couple of meetings ago, Travis mentioned that possible cost for the culvert at the Snow Lake remediation project could be $900 to $1 million, which got me thinking a little bit about it. And I went and got a map of what they're doing up there, and I do have some concerns from those drawings, and I assume that I'm looking at the latest drawings. And I think it might be worth the town's expense to hire an engineer just to get a down and dirty look at the north end of that project, specifically the culvert, the new culvert, and the sediment pond. So the new culvert, it's not quite a 90-degree angle, it's turning, but it's further downhill than the existing culvert. And I don't think water flows well when it makes turns like that, so I can see the potential for backing upstream from that. The other thing was the sediment pond. And I'm wondering who is responsible for that sediment pond. Is the town on the hook for that? Who's gonna keep that cleaned out? If you look at the existing entrance to Snow Lake, that's always silts up. And over the past years, not recent years, but they made an effort to drain the Snow Lake down and remove material. Last time they didn't. They only did a little bit of it, they didn't do the whole thing. So I think that's another consideration,
We did sign an agreement, before we went any further, that we were not gonna be responsible for cleaning retention ponds. You remember that, Travis? Yes, Joe.
That's all Mount Snow's property,
Yeah,
so that's nothing to do with the.
but the concern about
Private property.
changing the angle of how this water is going to go through the culvert, that is a concern.
and according to the map I have, it's a 24-inch PVC pipe. It's not a concrete cast culvert, as I understand it, at least as far as the drawing goes.
What do you think, Travis?
We must be looking at different pipes, because that pipe that's in there is 12 foot in diameter right now. Not only 4 inch.
Right,
And I would think that you could probably get an engineer just to look at the culvert section for an opinion, not a whole engineering study. And I would think somebody that's familiar with this type of work would be able to give you a quick evaluation for a couple $1,000. And if it saves you 900, it's probably money well spent.
yes, obviously. Do you know anybody like that, Travis?
Yes, I can reach out to the contractor from Greenfield that Mount Snow had used and talk with him, because I've been in close contact with him. I've also had the state V-Trans has come out, and I've done a site visit with them at that site already too, so I have some hydraulic study information and some of that other stuff.
Right.
Let's be honest.
If you would do that, do you agree, the rest of the board, that would be useful? Okay, Patrick, yes? Joe's shaking his head, no?
I don't.
Jeanette? Oh,
No, I was just gonna ask, like I have all the plans that they provided, so I'm not sure how you got the plans that you're referring to, or
I only have one picture.
I could send you all the documents that I have. If you like.
Hold on, Jeanette's still speaking. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know, I'd have to compare it to what I have, but I know VHB is the company that Mount Snow is using.
But,
Yes, Joe.
so again, I just want to make sure whatever plans that are the most recent has the correct timestamp on it. This is from May of 2024.
Yeah.
I know we've had many, many different plans, so. Travis may know if this is accurate or inaccurate, maybe. I mean, I've looked at a lot of these. So I don't. Again, I don't need to put more, this project will never happen type thing. I appreciate Jim coming to the board. If we can do something quick and easy without any expense to the town, I'm for it. This is all on Mount Snow's property. I know we want to protect our road. That's a concern on Travis's side, that there's some, if we did have a large, that our road would get impacted, that we have going through it, but it's basically all Mount Snow property from my understanding, so.
Jim, did you need this back? You have a copy? Okay.
I can only assume that the town provided me with the latest warrants. Those were furnished by the town.
Can I ask who gave you the plans?
I got them from Andy.
Okay,
Oh,
okay. All right, well, I think that Travis, it would be prudent just to follow up on some of these questions. About the size of the culvert. Mhm, and the angle the water flow would be coming through.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, yeah.
I can tell you from just looking at this map quick, that that 24-inch pipe is one of 2 or 3 that drain out of the parking lot.
Mhm.
The one that goes under the town road is up further, closer to Snow Lake Road, maintenance road and everything. It's up quite a bit further. It's not actually on this. It's at the furthest most point of this map.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim.
Travis was talking about the existing culvert, correct?
Yeah, these other ones are the little, like the
Yeah.
24-inch, the little gap. Yeah,
I mean, there's another larger culvert south of there,
yeah,
coming from the remediation pond by Sundance.
correct.
Jeanette, can you just make sure that these are the most recent? And if it isn't that we get it to Jim too?
yes, yep.
Thank you, thank you. Any other public comments? Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? We are, there is a typo on the agenda. We're gonna approve minutes from November 4th, not October 21st. So that is, that's fine, but I thought I'd just announce it. Okay, and Shannon's with us, economic development, signage application for 10 tables.
Yes, hi. I just about half an hour ago got the extra backup for this and emailed it to you. So hopefully you've had a chance to review it. But they have an application for $647 project costs, and they are looking for $323.50 in signage grant funding. You would be approving this pending Tabby's approval. It is with her right now.
So the price, the initial quote was $25 higher. And so
Yes.
now
Right,
it's-
so they're adjusting
Yeah.
appropriately.
Yes.
Pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the sign application grant for 10 tables in the amount of $323.50, subject to approval by the zoning administrator and any other required documentation being provided.
Second.
Any discussion? Patrick,
Yeah, just as a point, I may have to recuse myself from this. My son is working as wait staff over there. He's working for John and Lindsay. So uh, I disclose that, and if the chair believes I need to recuse on this, then I will.
Does anybody have any issues with Patrick voting on the sign for 10 tables?
I believe that Patrick can be impartial.
Absolutely not.
No vote?
No, he can vote.
Okay, all right,
So I can vote. Okay.
We trust you,
So
Patrick.
you could,
all right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And next we have the consider recreation manager job posting. And everybody
Yeah.
look at the proposed job
Yep.
guidelines or outline.
Mhm.
Any comments? Yes, Sarah.
It feels like it's exhaustive, and perhaps it doesn't need to be quite as lengthy. I think it might be daunting.
So I think it's
There's a
sort of
way to summarize some of these areas a little bit, just to
this
get
wouldn't
Okay.
this wouldn't be what I would imagine we would post an ad for, but I think this is like the actual job description. I think it's important and include as many of the pieces that we could think of at this juncture. I do think, I would have something much smaller for the actual ad, which would probably just be that top part maybe. But a few of us have looked at this. I appreciate your time on it. Because it's something brand new, I don't know what's out there. I don't know for applicants what we'll get or how we might need to update this, but I think this is a really good start for what could serve the town best at this time.
I assume that this was something, if you had a candidate, you would hand it to them or email it to them, but not be in print in an advertisement.
No, but I think
Don't
it's
forget, we
important.
do, the Vermont law does make you put a pay range in, so
Yes.
that.
And there is one on there.
Yes, I
But
see it.
certainly, from seeing the applicants and going through the hiring process at the chamber recently, I think it's really important to have a very clear, as inclusive as possible, description for people to review.
Any other comments?
You don't have to vote on it, you just have to authorize her to advertise for it.
I thought we were doing it in.
I do have a comment.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, I just I just want to make sure, Shannon, thank you for clarifying that this is not going to be in the ad, because I think you and I spoke and I was a little concerned about there's just too much detail, for this to be an ad, but I understand the context a little bit better now. So thank you for that. I do think, and as I've verbalized, I think offline substantively, it will be important in recruiting for this position, it'll be important to considering the priorities of whether this person is going to be primarily responsible for assisting you, Shannon, with the administrative management marketing type function, or whether they're going to be more of a person responsible for physical maintenance of these trails. And I have some concern that these are two different jobs, two different job descriptions. But subject to that concern, I'm happy to have you go forward with recruiting it. I just have this concern that I think I've shared with you. I just want to make sure that everyone else hears that that's my one concern.
I think it's important that these are things that we are looking for, and we will have candidates that are stronger in some ways than others, and we just need to weigh that. In my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
So how do we want to proceed? Should Shannon go ahead and advertise for this open position?
Yeah.
Sure.
This was something we were looking to hire in May. I don't know that I didn't realize that we were going to start looking for this position now. I was just looking at viewing this.
Why would we not?
See that.
So I'm sorry, Joe,
Yes, Patrick.
yes, Joe, did you say this position would not start until May? Is that your understanding?
I thought I understood when I was reading through something, but now I'm not finding it, so I don't know what I was looking at, not to be.
I think we know that this is a lot of unknowns. It's a brand new thing. It may take us a while to find some good candidates, and ideally, it would be really great to do all of that through the winter and have somebody ready and in place to start things in the spring. But I purposely, there are no dates. I didn't put any
I know.
deadlines anywhere.
No, it's not you.
All right, well, Joe is
Well,
unsure.
I'm not sure. I thought it was something that we were gonna be discussing and not voting on actually putting in a new position. I think it should be a little bit more vented out that we're actually gonna hire another person within the town. I was not in that assumption for today. So there's three of you here. If you vote to do it, that's fine. I'm not gonna vote yes to do anything today on this.
Sarah,
The salary is not coming out of the town budget, it's all coming out of economic development.
I know that.
Well, I'm just making sure because
I'm well aware of
because
that.
we're down a person.
I agree. I'm just saying I'm not ready tonight. But like I said, three of you are ready, go for it. That's why we have a board.
So my question is just to make sure that I understand the mechanics, and Shannon, maybe you can answer this. Um, we have we have the budget for this position available for this position in this fiscal year. So we can hire this person based on the budget. You have the budget available to do that. That's a yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. That's
It's just me
and
now. So, yes.
it's just you, right? Yes, right. Exactly. I just want to make sure that that's clear and on the record. And then to if in a perfect world you would like this, well, I presume you'd like this person to start as soon as possible, but you're thinking it's probably a spring hire, then that's correct.
I think it's going to take us through. I don't know how much time, but I think
Yeah.
we'll know when we know, depending on what kind of
Yeah.
candidates we see. I just don't know what's out there. But in an ideal world, somebody would be working once spring came.
Right. Okay. So then that leads me to my last question. And it's so you obviously then have these tasks to get done between now and then. So is it just you to do all this stuff between now and then, or do we need input or help from someone else? From
So some of this job are things that my department has covered in the past, and a lot of this is things that we've never as a town had someone doing,
okay.
if that helps.
Yeah, it does. Okay, it's I'm sorry, second one. This was my really last question. Sorry.
Ask. You tell me the faster.
I promise this is the last one. So then on the trail maintenance piece of this, is there work that will need to be done over the winter that won't be done unless we have somebody doing this?
So we still have our contracted maintenance agreement to take care of the hiking and biking in Horace Hill. So that doesn't change that at all. That's still contracted. I don't really know what maintenance we've done to the Valley Trail over the winter, but I don't think that changes anything. There's
Okay.
nothing in this job description that conflicts with anything we already do for maintenance.
Okay.
It would just be additional, like
All right.
and that's what this person needs to help me with. Like, what do we need to be doing? So yeah, a lot of unknowns, but I appreciate the questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's put it to a vote. Do we want Shannon, we're not hiring anybody tonight, but we're looking for somebody to fill a position.
I mean, it would be cool if we could hire somebody tonight, but
So all in favor of having Shannon look advertise for this position? Aye.
Aye.
So no
No.
decision or just
No.
No,
Now,
no.
so,
The-
not that I'm against it, I
3
just
to 1.
wanted to talk to Shannon, I didn't think we were gonna vote on this thing. So,
Okay, so Shannon,
We're authorizing her to
Forward.
just go out and recruit, right? That's it.
Well, to develop an ad so that she can start to seek somebody for the position.
anything else, Shannon?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
All right, moving on. We have new business and Tim just walked in. You all set, Tim?
I'm ready.
By town marketing presentation.
All right, thanks for having me. So we got presentation. Jeanette, are you in charge? Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying that Wilmington did approve this, so
Evening.
yeah, they did. I just came from there. Gave the same presentation to them. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Good job, Jeanette. Okay, so we're gonna start with what we accomplished this year, and then we'll talk about budget for next year. So starting off with Google Ads, this has been really successful for us. We spent about $2,100 more than we did in 2024, as we were seeing great performance there. Foliage definitely is our best performer. You know, just in a 6-week period, we saw 23% of our clicks. So a lot of people that are searching for foliage specific want to know when the best time to come, what's it looking like right now, all of that. So foliage is definitely an important piece of Google Ads for us. But they're also searching for, you know, things to do, places to visit, that type of stuff. So one of the new things we did this year with Google Ads was starting in May. We told Google to start honing in on people that they thought would spend 30 seconds or more on the website. So, you know, that since we made that change, about 85% of those clicks have resulted in a over 30-second visit. So really good engagement with Google Ads. And just to note, you do see a dip here coming into November. That is budgetary. So, you know, once Columbus Day hit, Indigenous Peoples Day, sorry, you know, we scale back on that buy because it's starting to be sixth season. So the drop in performance is, you know, something that we anticipated because we were spending less money. Digital ad campaigns are bread and butter. You know, spending most of our budget into Meta. And this year we did go back to programmatic display, which I think we did in year 1 of the Bytown marketing program. The last couple we've been in TikTok, which has been really successful for us, especially with that young adult audience. But late winter, early spring, when we needed to make a decision about getting our ads up, getting them out into market, TikTok was already under one 90-day extension because it was being, you know, threatened to be eliminated here in the US. So it had already undergone one extension. Next deadline was coming up. It was like April 1st, and it was tied at the time to China and tariffs. So there was just a ton of an uncertainty, and we didn't want to spend the money to create ads that could have gotten pulled, you know, within a few weeks, and then we'd be scrambling. So just to keep in mind, you know, we do know that programmatic display, we see better impressions, but less clicks. And so you'll see that. But that was something we were anticipating when we made this decision not to use TikTok for this year. But I just gave you some examples of summer. You know, as in the past, we ran family and young adult separate ads. 3 different phases during the summer. So that's 6 different sets of ads that went out, 3 for each family and young adult during the summer. And then in late August, started transitioning into fall. Again, one phase here for fall, but 1 for family, 1 for young adult. And also had 3 videos per, so 6 total videos for the summer, and then 2 videos for the fall, again with that young adult audience being one and a family focused one for the other. So a bunch of great videos that we got out there, and the videos perform better and better every year, so something that we're really trying to focus on. So overall, our ad campaign results, we did about 25 million impressions this year, which is up, all about 1.5 million from last year. Again, we were anticipating we would do better there because of that change from display to TikTok, or vice versa rather. But we knew we'd see a little bit of a drop in the clicks, and so we, only came in at 53,557. But if you look at Meta, which is, where we're spending most of that money, our click-through rate was a 0.23% versus a 0.24 last year. So pretty close to right in line with that. It's that 0.10 that brings that percentage way down. And the pragmatic, again, we knew that. New this year, though, you might remember last year we talked about doing footfall tracking. So we spent money on being able to track people's phones after they saw one of our ads on Meta. So this was Meta only, and we can only track them for a period of 7 days. So a conversion was somebody who saw an ad on their phone on Meta and within 7 days entered anywhere in the Deerfield Valley. So with those conditions, we had 1,099 people that were tracked, and we did some digging into AirDNA and looked at booking windows, and about 26% book their trip within the 1 to 7 day window. So we're kind of, assuming that 1,100 people that we tracked made up 26% of the people that were actually impacted and saw. So that would be a total of 4,220 conversions that we believe, would have been from our advertising. We then did some, research into, how much people spend, how many people travel together, and how long they're staying. And so the median numbers are kind of what we best think is probably in range, and the low would be if we were way off, but it probably wouldn't be much lower than that. So median wise, came out to about 14,000 total visitors, 49,000 just under room nights created, and just under $15 million worth of revenue generated for businesses in the Deerfield Valley. On the low end, looking, a little under 11,000 visitors, 37,000 room nights, and a little over $9 million in revenue generated. So kind of cool to be able to, we've always had the impressions, we've had the clicks. This is kind of that next step of being able to say, okay, they saw it, they clicked, are they getting here? So this was kind of nice to be able to actually track that for once. So I know that piece was new. Any questions about the football? Great. Moving on.
No. I'm good.
Sorry.
So no parties. Our other notable projects for this year, we did a big fall photo and video shoot. We've done a couple of summer ones over the last 4 years, and we hadn't done a big fall one. So we were able to work with Mount Snow as well as the White House Inn, and also go over to Hoot Toot Whistle Trail and the reservoir and get some really great photos up there. So got some really great early light up at the top of Mount Snow. And then went over to the lake and got some great shots there, and people hiking on the Hoot Toot Whistle Trail, and then over for dinner at the White House Inn and got some really nice photos, and capped off by just one of the best sunsets of the season. So we really lucked out on both ends of the day with the sunrise and then the sunset. So I take full credit for it. But that was really good. So, going forward, we'll have some great stuff for fall. We also had an influencer come. She has, just around 90,000 followers on Instagram. Does a bunch of, stops in Vermont. So she did 4 different posts and 3 stories for us. So got about 85,000 different views from her. And the biggest thing with her is her followers are so engaged, you know, sending a ton of comments, and almost 400 people shared those posts to their friends. So really big impact. But she went out on the lake for a boat ride. Thank you to Island Jet Ski. She went over to Hogback. You know, you can probably recognize this photo right here from being right there. So she walked around downtown Dover on the Valley Trail, went to a couple of the inns and got some stuff, and just put together some really great content for us. Our organic social media has really been doing great this year. We had a intern who did a great job over the summer, and now we have a really good content creator in position at the chamber. So we've increased our followers by 18%, so way up on the people that are following us regularly now, and multiple different posts. We just keep breaking our own records. And, you know, over the summer had some really great ones about just Dover in general, soup stroll. There was a general downtown Wilmington one that all did really great. But our new Bridget, our new content creator, did one of a then and now of Harriman Reservoir a couple weeks ago that got 70,000, which was double our best performing one ever. And then I just updated this. This wasn't even in the ones that I sent you guys, but she did a Corinthia Iron Mine post last Thursday, and that's already over 40,000 views. So people are really digging the history, which is great for us to get that engagement during stick season, you know, when normally we see a drop off. So really good performance in social media. Also did an email sign up contest. So just a pop up that popped up when people from our ads got onto the website. So we got almost 450 new subscribers through that. We then also the Grow Grant, you might remember, we got $38,000 from the state to help with relocation and retention of people, trying to get people to relocate here for fiscal years 24 and 25. So that's wrapping up. I shouldn't say fiscal year because town works on a different, but for the calendar years of 24 and 25. So we're coming to the end of that first 2-year period. Had really great campaigns with a lot of interactions from people online. We held some mixers, had the last one last night at American Flatbread with about 70 people there. And, you know, about 25% of those were people that had moved here within the last 2 years. And a good number of them were like, I moved here 2 weeks ago. So a really great way to kind of get people into the community and start meeting new people. So that program has been awesome, and we reapplied over the summer, and were in September awarded another 2-year cycle. So 26 and 27, we've got $51,610 to spend. So got even more money this time to continue all that work. So that was everything that we've done. Any questions before I move into budget? Great. So biggest change in staffing is increasing the marketing director pay. It would be at the same rate as what we were paying in 2025, but increasing the workload as we want to bring on more projects. There's just more time needed in order to accomplish those. So increasing the workload by 25%, and you know the number basically goes up by 25%. Also just added a little bit of gas stipend for that content creator so that she can continue going around the valley and, you know, just helping out with gas as she goes around taking content. And again, that 3262 represents 25% of the pay for the content creator. Chamber matches that at 25%, and now that we've got that grow money, that covers the other 50. Professional fees, increasing our campaign creative. This is the creation of our ads. We have a contract with Trampoline for 1 more year. That was for a 3% cost of living increase. But we also added another 25% this year because the last piece of the 5-year marketing plan, the audience that we hadn't touched yet was the retiree segment. So we've been focusing on those families and the young adults. and we want to do a test for 1.5, 2 months or so. So we want to create some assets to test out that retiree segment and see what kind of traction we get from them. Website was originally done and finished in 2021, so we'll be going on to 5 years by next year. So the bones of all the website are still really great. So we don't need to do a full redevelopment, but just put a new paint job on it, if you will, and keep that enticing for people to utilize. And then no major photo shoot next year. We're good on fall now, and we've got the next, budgeted would be in 2027 for summer. So that bucket goes way down. And overall, our budget stayed pretty similar. So we kept the chamber admin piece the same. Digital advertising, adding a little bit more in there, again, to test out that retirement segment. Influencers, that worked really well. And so we want to expand that program and try to get some bigger influencers with a larger following here. Groups and weddings is another piece of the 5-year plan that we hadn't implemented yet, and so want to do something with that. So still kind of talking to some of our stakeholders about what the best way to go about that, but goal would be to do something to get some form of advertising to try to get more groups and weddings into the area. And then SEO, those Google ads where we see that great performance, just continuing to increase that. IT, geofencing, it was great looking at those numbers and being able to see those number of people coming in, but it did come at a cost. We had budgeted for 12.5. We actually had to move some things around during summer because we ended up being around 15,000 in order to do that. So while it's great for that to have that data, our recommendation is that we do that every 3 years rather than always spending that money on data. But we do want to do it every few years to, just as a gut check and make sure we're still on the right track. Bandwango was something we discussed as a committee, and we had budgeted for it in case we wanted to implement it, but that was voted against, so that goes away. We never did anything with it this year, and we're not budgeting for it next year. And then just a couple of minor increases for some of our subscriptions. Last piece is promotional. We got really great pricing last year for printing for our trifolds in Guilford. So that number, we were able to save a bunch of money this year. And so, budgeted accordingly next year. We did add a little bit over what we actually spent this year in order to go over to Bennington so that we're now covered on the east and the west entries to the state. And then the other big piece is one of the things that's always asked about, both online, you see in those Google ads, people searching for places to hike, and all our visitor center staff say the same thing. So we want to create a digital and printable hiking guide so that we can help steer people towards the right type of hike for them while they're here, as well as use it as a tool to entice them to come here. So altogether, we are looking for a budget of $245,776, which is up just slightly from the $243,277 from this year. We do have a carryover of $16,250, bringing our total ask to $229,526, and divided by 2, Dover and Wilmington, and again, Wilmington has already approved their end. 114,763 would be the ask from Dover. Ton of info, and I go quick.
Mhm.
Any questions?
Let's leave plenty of time for questions. But
Any questions?
I don't. I've spoken to them previous, so.
Anybody in the audience? I can't really see.
Patrick shaking his head.
No?
Nope, no questions, no question.
Obviously, Shannon, you're good with this?
Yes.
Just double check. I missed the last meeting, so I'm just asking.
Oh, yes, no, that is a very fair point. No, we are really proud of our campaign and excited for next year. And I think we've put together a really great budget.
Any comments? Does somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we give $114,763 from the Economic Development Fund to the
By town.
By-Town Marketing Program.
Second.
Patrick?
No questions. I was gonna second.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, anything else? All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Tim,
Thank you, Tim.
you. All right. Now we are going to consider landowner permission form from the Deerfield Valley Stump Jumpers. And this is something that we usually do every year.
Right.
Yes.
What?
What?
They haven't been out for a while.
They haven't been out for a while. Okay. So this runs permission to start November 18th, 2025, ending April 15th, 2026. And
I make a motion that we authorize the chair to sign the landowner permission form for the Deerfield Valley Stump Jumpers.
Second.
any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Damn.
That's it, they're trying to teach it.
So this is the signed form, you're gonna need a copy of this. But the town wants to keep a copy as well, so Jeanette, you wanna make a copy? Used to be. Oh. Sheets of just grunting on his lips.
Somebody's getting a stare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to consider the request to open the roads to snowmobile access. Again, another thing that happens every year. Any changes or additions?
They added one road with last one, really nice to think.
Duncan Road?
Sorry, that's all.
Yes, yeah,
That's it?
that was it, everything else.
Anybody have any comments about this? The whole board can sign this.
So I make a motion that we sign the request from the Deerfield Valley Stump Jumpers to open the roads listed in the November 4th, 2025 letter to snowmobiles.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Let's hope it snows.
Mhm.
But not to.
Vicky, will you need me to sign this when I'm back there?
We don't have to, we'll have 3 signatures on it, but.
Okay, all right.
Does
I can
anybody
also
have a copy of this?
That's more for the town, yeah.
Yeah.
With the landowner permission.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Oh, that was all under the police department. So, moving on to the highway, consider a new hire for the maintenance position, Travis.
Yeah, so we ran the ad for a couple weeks of a maintenance position, the added maintenance position to help out Dave. Had 5 applicants. Brian and I went through and interviewed them. I found one that I'd like to hire. and I think he'd be a great fit. And he's currently working for another town. Let's have him come work with us. I'd like to hire Peter Saladino. At the rate of $24.50 an hour, to join our department start date December 1st. Is that good?
And that wage is in line with the rest of where this person should fall,
Yeah.
right? Anybody have any questions of Travis about his candidate?
It's also within the pay range that we advertised.
Okay, Sarah,
is he starting at a probationary rate and then going up after 90 days, or just starting right out?
Starting right out.
Okay, so there won't be a 90 day bump. Nope.
other questions?
Maybe we have to move it.
Yes,
So I make a motion that we authorize Travis to hire Peter Saladino for the highway maintenance position at $24.50 an hour.
Second.
any comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, we need to go to board of liquor control.
Make a motion to go into the board of liquor control.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to approve, Mike, the special event permit for SC Distillation LLC at the last chair, November 22nd, from 6:30 to 9:30 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to come out of the board of liquor control.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda, we need to approve the minutes of November 4th, 2025. I am going to abstain because I was not at the meeting.
So, since I chair, can I move it?
And-
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 4th.
Second.
Any changes or corrections?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approve the warrants from November 8th, 2025 in the amount of $8,865,850.50.
I make a motion that we approve the warrants of November 8th for $8,865,885.50. Which includes the Rivers Valley money, right? That's what that.
Second.
Okay, Patrick, any discussion on the warrants?
Nope.
No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
FYI, budget meeting, November 20th at 1 PM.
Here.
Which is here in this room. That's Thursday, everybody.
Can't wait.
Patrick, are you gonna zoom in?
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
Okay, great. Feed the Mover to support Deerfield Valley Food Pantry, November 22nd from 10 to 4 at Shaw's. Thanksgiving pie sale at the Westover Congregational Church from November 26th and 27th, 2 to 6 PM.
You have to pre-buy those. They're not. You have to order ahead of time, just so people are.
They're asking you to just stop in, but
They might have some, I don't know.
You might have
they
extra.
have some frozen ones, I believe. So.
Tree trimming party at I Love Art Space Gallery, November 29th from 10 to 4.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Jeanette will be there.
Santa will be there also.
Oh, Santa will be there too.
Kids crafts and the cookie decorating, so come on
Wow.
out.
Cookie eating.
And the Southern Vermont Municipal Leaders Network meeting on December 2nd, 9 to 12:30 PM at the OSEC. Is anybody going?
There's a flyer.
Yeah, there's a flyer.
I might. Yeah, I saw there was an attachment. I may try to go to that. I should be back in town for that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a hard day, Tuesday from 9 AM to 12:30 PM. Yeah.
Mm.
Alright, okay, great. Any liaison reports?
No.
No. Executive session, I'm not aware of the need for one. So I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
And make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Dan's just come on.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have to-
Good night, everyone.
I thought if we just made a motion, we would.
We did it. I got all these things.
Thanks, Travis.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Bye.
Travis? Travis?
Uh,
Can you just tell me this time?
And we also have the.
We get, I vote the.
I like it. I spent about an hour and a half looking at that. I like the way that's laid out for numbers as well.
Yeah, it's pretty,
Good.
it's pretty easy to.
I don't know, but stop.
Yeah, it gives you a better of how the town budgets work and stuff like
Gives you
that.
better of it.